Welcome back, everyone, to Vendetta Media. Today, we're going a little bit of a different route. I'm here with my main man, Matt Hannafin, and Matt, I did something. I went to Reddit to ask fellow MLB fans like you and me for some of their hottest takes going into the 2025 season. Obviously, opening day has already come and gone, but it's still real early enough in the season for a lot of these hot takes. Matt, how are you feeling going into this?
You know how Reddit is, a completely normal society of individuals with very level-headed takes. That's what I'm just completely expecting from this. No, man, I'm
Okay.
doing good. I'm ready for this. Germani didn't tell me any of these. I didn't go and look and see what the responses were to react to them or compartmentalize them or whatever. All of this is a raw reaction. I'm going in like a blind dog. Nothing. I got nothing here prepared, ready, whatever. I'm just ready to jump right into it, and hopefully there's some ones that I think are like I want these to be spicy because they're
Right.
hot takes for
Not the first time we're doing this, so things may be subject to change, but I have a couple sets of categories of hot takes. Pretty much it'll be frozen, lukewarm, heater, and then for the really, really crazy ones, labeled them down as scorched earth. Matt is going to label those based on those categories, and then afterwards he's going to talk about if he agrees or disagrees, and we'll keep it going from there. But
I think
other
this
than
will
that,
be fluid though, because there might be like especially at the beginning where there might be a take where I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's scorched earth," but then I hear a couple others and I'm like, "Wait, no, that one was actually worse or better than the others."
we're gonna find it and we're gonna classify it. If you guys want to get in on it, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to make this into a series anyway. So if you guys do enjoy this, show your support down below by liking, subscribing, leaving a comment. Hey, even especially leaving a comment on a video like this. You never know. We might be looking into the YouTube comment section for hot takes next time around. You never know. So make sure you leave something down there. Also, subscribe to Vendetta Media to get more content like this. We're planning on having so much great content over the course of MLB season. NBA playoffs are coming up fast, and obviously Matt is going to be spearheading that. Whether you guys check out Vendetta Sports Media and check us out here on YouTube, keep it locked in. We got a lot of good stuff growing, and we'll love you guys to stay on this ride. But without further ado, plugins, all that stuff out the way, let's read some hot takes.
Did you also organize these into categories yourself?
I did not. It's pretty much we're flying in it, to be honest. I read them once over and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty good. Ecto Boy said the Diamondbacks win the West. I think injuries and age bite the Dodgers, and Arizona wins the West barely.
That one's probably a 3.
Okay, we got heater.
Yeah, I think that one's a spicy one. I know when you and I did our please again, we did our over unders for projecting all these teams, previewing all these teams, so go check that out. When we did our over unders for the D-backs, I wanted to go over. I think it was like 85 and a half, 86 and a half. And I wanted to go over, but I was like, I don't know about this rotation, man. I don't know about this pitching staff. Little bit concerned. They did lead the league or they did league baseball. They led baseball in runs scored last year, and I think Josh Naylor is gonna hit a lot of booms in Jays Field, but I just don't know about their pitching staff, and I think Corbin Carroll will be better. I don't think they win the West, so I'd say that's like a 3. That's not a bad one. I would still put the Padres above.
Okay, next, and we got regular candidate, and his is Mets missed the playoffs with well below average pitching.
I think that's a 2. I can see that.
Okay.
I do like the Mets, but like there is a world. I want to say I had him somewhere in my like top 6, top 7 for the power rankings. I think Soto will obviously help them out a lot. There is a world where like Clay Holmes as your number one starter does kind of fall on its face. Like when they fully healthy, and I'm sure they're probably going to try to make a move at the deadline for one of these guys. But necessarily, I could see a world where they kind of not fall apart, but they're not as good as some would expect them to be. I think that's gonna happen, though.
All right, here's this next one. I think you might like this one. Team impressive. He says the ALCS is played in a AAA ballpark and a spring training ballpark.
Oh, A's, Rays, baby? Is that what we're
A's
doing?
Rays. A's Rays. That's what it sounds like.
That's a 4. That's a great one.
Man, I was fast.
That's a really good one. So weird, but it'd be very baseball-y for that to happen. I don't think there's a world where that happens, but, like, all you gotta do is get to the postseason.
I feel like it would be some sort of like Savannah Bananas kind of atmosphere, just in like a
Did
oh
you watch
some
Tampa was just on for their opening day. Did you watch any of it?
I did watch highlights. I saw the walk off home run, but it looked like
Yeah,
that place was kind of rocking from what I could tell.
I was gonna say, like, I know it's opening day, so I'm kind of expecting that kind of atmosphere, but like good atmosphere for an opening day game. Obviously, the A's, they're in Seattle for their first series, so they haven't played yet
Right.
in Sacramento, but I'm hoping for a similar atmosphere. I mean, I think the A's would be more raucous than the Rays. I, are they still doing the cowbells and whatnot over there in Sacramento?
I would sure hope so, but I mean,
Yeah. I think that's
I,
way more annoying if I'm an opposing team or an opposing fan, and if I
okay,
was, like, a fan of the A's, yeah, I'm
okay,
bringing but that's a good I like that one. I didn't expect that. That
okay.
even one of those would be, like, one of those would be, like, very, very surprising, no?
We got okay resolution. Rockies make the postseason.
It's not happening. 4 because it's obviously a scorching hot take. Person who wrote that probably doesn't believe it. Like, what are we talking about here? He or she believes that. I don't think there's maybe like a 23.2% chance that person believes that. But
Okay.
do you think that's the Rockies owner? Because he's always like a believer in their team. Do you think that's just the
Mm.
Rockies like a burner account?
Hey, you never know. Reddit's a very, very interesting place. You
A burner Reddit, that'd be something.
know. All right, 100 grandpappy. These usernames are getting more unique by the take. Spencer Torkelson will hit 30 plus home runs this year.
He was excellent in spring. I think that's a good hot take. I think that there's legitimate chance of that happening. Um, I'll say it's like a for that, I think it's a 1 or a 2. You be the judge.
I mean, judging how he played against the Dodgers on opening day, like if that's setting a precedent for the rest of his season, I could see that happening.
I was
To keep him,
very high on him heading into last year. Just did not work.
I think the Tigers really need him to be all that all that they expected him to be when they drafted him first overall.
They're gonna need like Carey, they're gonna need Glaber, they're gonna need obviously Riley Green. They're gonna need a lot of those guys in the lineup to be as good as you would expect them to be. In addition to like Colt Keith, who is someone who is hyped up as a prospect. With Scooble, obviously the pitching staff with Scooble, with Jack Flaherty.
All right, so NWO for I want to say for life, but it's like it's missing an L. But Garrett Mitchell goes 2040 in 2025.
Hmm, a 2 or 3? What do you think about that?
I like Garrett Mitchell. I think like the stolen base marker, I think that's a lot easier than seeing him hit 20 bombs. I think it's more maybe just for my lack of watching Brewers games, but I think always when it comes to guys who are kind of like speed defensive players first, I think like the power kind of starts creeping up over the course of the years. So I wouldn't say it's that crazy because, like, I mean, a lot of guys, especially like nowadays in modern day MLB, every other player is going for at least 2020. For him, I think like the Brewers will definitely need something like that. So, like, I don't find that to be all too crazy. All right, moving on. We got Bo Sox 91. He has a couple here, so we'll go one by one. Cincinnati will win the NL Central over Milwaukee.
I was high on Cincinnati, even though I hate their closer situation, maybe more than Terry Francona did, or does. Uh, and we saw it opening day against the Giants. The back of their bullpen is not good, so you're gonna have to figure that out relatively quickly. I don't think it's a. I think that it's more than possible. Like genuine, I think it's more than possible. So I'd probably say that's a 1 or 2. I
Okay.
don't think they do it. Like I still think it's probably. I my pick at least was Chicago.
Washington Nationals will finish over 500 with Mackenzie Gore placing top three in Cy Young. That's a bit of a two-parter, but
Okay, when was that? Was that
no,
opening
actually,
day?
no, 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 no. All these were curated over the course of like the last 2 weeks. So he way before opening day.
We've been waiting for the Mackenzie Core breakout, and yesterday was any indication.
Nationals
Opening
still
day
lost,
was
though,
any
unfortunately. But
indication that slider. He was a guy who was like a reverse splits guy. Like he was worse against lefties, which is weird than at least last year. A lot of swing and miss stuff. If yesterday was any indication, I'm not ruling it out. Well,
okay.
okay. What was the first part of that? I'm
So
just focusing on the good
first
part.
first part were Nationals finishing above 500.
I mean, it can happen if like Cruz, James Wood, one breakout. Am I missing someone? There's someone else that I'm missing. They got Nathaniel Lowe, which I said in our over unders that I liked a lot. I think that's like a 2. I mean, again, you can see my skepticism though about when that was typed because like,
Right, right.
listen,
I
man,
hey,
if I saw that post, I'd be typing that in the middle of yesterday's game against the Phillies. I know you're asking for my reactions, but what is it?
I
What is your
ooh.
favorite or top 3 that you've read so far?
Okay, so at least the ones we've talked about already. I like the Diamondbacks one. I think that's like very ambitious. Torkelson for 30 plus home runs. Just to kind of keep it brief, but I like Torkelson for whatever reason. I kind of compare what I expect his kind of production to be is that of like a Hunter Renfroe in terms of like really good power and RBI guy. It may not be in terms of efficiency, probably not, but I think you're more worried about him at the moment is putting up numbers than how efficient he is at the plate. You just want to see that production like kind of be there. And like we all knew he had crazy pop, so it's just more about putting it in practice anyway. Next one, we got Dpot 007 with Fernando Tatis Jr. will win NL MVP.
Love it. Love it. Tatis rules, man. Love it. No, I think that's a little bit of a hotter take than I would like to admit, just because it's like Otani's he exists in the National League now. And so I feel like it's gonna be like, unless if he gets hurt. I mean, heck, he got hurt last year. He underwent elbow surgery and he still won the NL MVP because he crushed a million dingers. Like, he's just that talented of a player. But like, unless if he gets like hurt to the extent where like he's out for an extended period of time. Not that I'm hoping for that. I'm not at all. Just to make that clear. But I think like that's one of the few avenues for, or maybe the only avenue for someone else winning the NL MVP, just because like he's just so unbelievably talented and good at both hitting and pitching. It's going to make it impossible for some of these guys to make a case, to like make a case that's good enough, especially when he's doing both, which I think he's going to do. He's going to pitch a little bit this year. No, like I don't know. I think he's talented enough and good enough to win an NL MVP regardless. Obviously, he just did it. And so I think it's going to be a little bit of like, you're going to have like just a wildly absurd season that trumps Otani, which is going to be very, 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 very hard for anyone to do. So I'd probably say that's like a 3.
Hot take for myself. I had Tatis being a dark horse for MVP anyway, so I love this take all around.
Yeah. He
But
might certainly could be in the conversation. I just don't know if like he'll actually win it or anyone else will win it outside of Otani. Again, unless barring injury, which again I hope doesn't happen because how awesome he is.
oh yeah, we have X4 Candles. He said, or they said, excuse me, Dodgers set the record for most wins in a season and lose in the NLDS.
What's the exact record?
I think it was 116 for the 2001 Mariners.
116? Yeah, it was the Cubs and Mariners tied it, right? That would be very funny. It'd also be very baseball. They just won a World Series, so I don't want to pile on them against my piece of shit team too. So maybe I'll come off as like a hater, which I'm not trying to be a hater, but like the Dodgers do kind of have a track record of that. Not of losing in the NLDS specifically, but like winning a shit ton of games and then falling apart in October. But dang it, they just won a World Series again against the piece of shit team that you see on my hat. It's just it's rare to see teams repeat. Like, there hasn't been a repeat champion since the Yankees. No, and baseball is such a dumb. Like, not saying it may happen in the NLCS, it may happen in the World Series, it may not happen at all. But like, it's such a baseball is such a dumb sport to where it's just like, if you have a bad few games or something, you could be bounced. That's just that's the nature of the sport. I don't think that happens though. I don't think either happens, but I'll say it too. I'll say it too.
Two. Okay.
That's not a bad one. Like, I guess I more so don't see them breaking the record for wins.
Right. Okay.
Um, but I can see them losing before they make the World Series. Like, I could see them losing to like the Phillies or something if they run into a bad matchup, depending on how it all shapes out.
Guys, it just sounds like there's a whole lot of lukewarm takes. You guys got to raise your A game for the next time we do this. Moving on, we got Hunter Brown is a top 3 pitcher in the AL this year, and this comes from
Ooh.
how do you even say his name? It's Theorpo.
Hunter Brown, top 3?
Yes.
That's a 4.
Ooh.
That's a good one. Do I see that happening? No. I like Hunter
But
Brown. I like Hunter Brown. He was very good last year. Good, very good bounce back. I mean, I don't know if he was technically a rookie last year, but good season.
interesting cold. The Mets finished dead last.
Is he just talking about in the East? You think you're really going to be worse than the Marlins?
I that's what I'm assuming so, because I'm assuming it's just dead last in the division because they just said Mets finished dead last.
That would be very funny if any team in that division finished behind the Miami Marlins in 2025. That's a 4. I mean, that's a 4. That I don't know how you'd come up with that, but again, that's another one where it's like I don't even think the person writing that believes it.
I think they were just looking for the most egregious thing they can think of.
Probably wearing this hat too.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe having a bit of copium. Okay, we got Scott. Mariners finished last place in the AL West.
Oh, where do I want to put this? They can't hit. I know they walked off. Not they didn't walk off, but they beat the Athletics. Good job from Randy Arozarena, proving the doubters wrong for a day, on opening day. There's no way they finished last though, right? They don't finish behind the Angels, right?
I don't think they finished behind the Angels. I really like the aggressiveness, but who knows? I would say it could take maybe just one bad stretch of not being able to score runs. I think it's more likely that they peter out in like the final stretch of the year, which is like such a Mariners thing to do.
Yeah, I'll say 3.
Everyone is overreacting about the Yankees and their injuries, but they still win the AL East and have home field advantage throughout the AL.
Do we think the AL East winner in general? This is just a general question. Like the AL East, they probably have the best record in the American League. I think that's very on the table.
I would say yes. I think some of the other quote unquote powerhouses like, the Rangers and others, I think they have such glaring issues in their teams that they probably wouldn't be able to have the best record.
I don't think it happens, but I could certainly see a world where it does happen.
Q Rod, Jose Ramirez finally gets his AL MVP.
That's not a bad one. I mean, he would have to go nuts, I think, to win one over like Judge or Bobby Witt. But he's always in the conversation. He's always in the conversation every year, whether he's third, fourth, fifth, whatever. I don't think he gets it. I'll say that's a 3. I'll say that's a 3. Finished 5th last year, 10th the year before, 4th in 22, and then 6th in 21. He finished 2nd in the COVID shortened season. I mean, he was really good last year and finished 5th. Like,
That's a testament to the talent.
I know Judge went nuts. Obviously, Bobby went nuts. Soto went nuts. Gunnar Henderson went. He was starting the season on the IL. Went nuts. I'll say that's a 3.
Mike Trout hits 40 home runs for the last time in his career this season.
Ooh. How healthy is he gonna be?
That's the question you got.
How healthy is he gonna be? Oh, I want to say this. I want to see this happen again. I like this stuff. I'll say that's a 3.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will be traded to the Red Sox before the end of the season in a trade involving Tristan Casas.
Fuck that one. Um, I hope this doesn't happen.
Are you saying that as a baseball fan or as a Yankee fan?
Fuck being a baseball fan at that point, just as a Yankee fan in general, dude. I'll say that's a 3. I think that's a good take. I mean, like a good hot take. I mean, they're gonna trade Casas. I don't know if it'd be in that deal if they did acquire Vlad. I guess they would have to find a subsequent deal, which is probably hard enough. But like, they almost traded him away anyway.
Okay,
That would kind of
all right.
suck. Like, that would kind of suck.
I think that would be awesome, but obviously, Red Sox bias. But
As a baseball fan or a Red...
I will say something. I think something that will kind of be overlooked in any sort of like trade that like this could happen. I think like another hot take that you can like kind of add into that is that a member of the Red Sox's big three is going to have to be included.
Ooh.
Maybe if they really want.
See you later, Marcelo Meyer.
Honestly, I don't think he would be the one to go, but I'll leave that up for discussion. Motivational spark: a player will hit 400 this season.
One, that's not going to happen. I'll say that's a 2 or a 3 though, in the sense that like how realistic that is. Like it's again another one where it's just like, does that person really believe that? Maybe.
I think the best was Luis Ariz, and I think he finished with like, oh my god, I want to say he finished like because he had like a cold streak, something like that. It's like still like ways off. Like you have to be. It's just the level of consistency. It's just not the state of the game anymore. Matt, we are down to the final hot take of the first, kind of the first in this series. Still don't have a name for it yet, but are you ready?
Yeah.
We've been through some ups and downs, some rings of fire, and some cold freezers, but here we are.
Not a lot of ones.
Not a lot of ones. There was a couple of scorched earths. I didn't think there was gonna be that many fours, but here we are. All right, final one. Melchimus. I really hope that's not a hidden like slur in there somewhere, but all right. Mel says Pirates have the MLB's worst record in 2025.
Certainly on the table. They're one Paul Skeens injury away from that happening. I'll say a 3, 2 or 3. It's like 2.5. It's a good one.
Okay.
They're not good. I mean, like again, with Jared Jones out for an extended period of time with like a shoulder elbow injury, and then I mean, obviously Bubba Chandler, hopefully he's up soon to give them some life. Skeens is disgusting, but they don't have enough offense. I like Horowitz though. I like how they got him, and I think he could be someone for them. But like other than that, they don't. O'Neal Cruz is awesome.
Okay.
They don't have much else that excites me.
Really on the tip. You really think the Pirates could be worse than the White Sox and the Marlins?
They're certain they could certainly it's certainly on the table. I don't think that'll happen, but certainly on the table.
Guys, that was a kind of our first edition of, reading hot takes on the internet. Well, obviously in this case, Reddit, the Reddit edition. But if you guys did enjoy, put your comments down below of your hot takes for the 2025 season. Who knows? The next time we're gonna do something like this, probably we'll maybe try to do it as like a once a month thing, or we'll see how it goes. But we'll love any and all support you guys can give us. Show support on this video. Show support to Vendetta Media by subscribing. Check out vendettasportsmedia.com to stay up to date with all your favorite sports and stay up to date with NBA. Stay up to date with the MLB season. A lot of great stuff is going on around here, so we'd love you guys to be a part of the ride. Check out Vendetta Sports Media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until next time, guys, I've been Germani. That's been Matt Hannafan, and we'll see you guys next time.